Mounting and dismounting your bike may seem like a simple thing to do, especially if you're tall and have flexible joints. However, getting on and off the bike in less than ideal conditions can sometimes take some out-of-the-box thinking. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you some tips that'll make the process a lot easier. When I need to get on the bike and the cowboy mount isn't the best option because of the terrain, my favorite method is the foot peg method. Stepping up on the foot peg, getting over the bike is much easier for me to swing my leg over the bike. So when we go to mount the bike from the side, we want to turn the handlebars full lock to the right. And this is going to give us several advantages. First of all, it's going to help lower that seat a little bit. Every little bit's going to help. The second thing is it brings that front brake closer to me so I can squeeze it as I go to get on the bike. You never know if the bike has come out of gear or if you're going to be moving someone else's bike, they might have left it out of gear. So pull that front brake in to ensure that the bike doesn't roll as you mount the bike. Turning the handlebars also opens up this area so that when I go to get on it, I'm not obstructed by the handlebar versus trying to get on it this way. Open the handlebars up, pull that front brake. We want to step on the foot peg, and as we press down on that foot peg, we're going to bend forward at the hip, get our chest over the center line of the bike, come over, and put that right foot on the foot peg. The other advantage of having done the full lock is that when we go to lift the bike, we have more leverage to pull on that handlebar versus if it were in here and I tried to muscle the bike up. When I go to lift the bike, I don't like to rely on just my upper body strength. I like to use my legs. So I'll pivot on the ball of my foot and I'll push my knee into the side of the bike as I lift the bike up. It takes a lot less effort. So now the bike is up. I need to put my right foot on the ground so that I can lift that side stand up, and now we're ready to get underway. As we said in the intro, sometimes we need to get on and off our bikes in less than ideal conditions. Oftentimes, I'll just speed the process up and just step on the bike without having it on the side stand. You find yourself in an awkward situation, you need to remount the bike. Here we are on a small little hill. The bike is leaning to the right side and it's facing down. I could try to struggle to get on this way, but the weight of the bike and the angle that it's on, everything is leaning this way. So I'm actually going to walk around to the other side to make the mount a little bit easier. I'm on a better position. I'm much higher on the bike. So here I'm just going to actually step right through. I have both feet secure on the ground. I'm going to pull that front brake in, foot on the foot peg, and we drive away. When we mount the bike from the right side, stepping on the peg, we need to be extra careful in that we don't inadvertently tip the bike over. So same thing, we want the bike at a full lock, squeeze that front brake as we're gonna step on this foot peg, and we wanna drive our chest over the tank to counterbalance the bike from tipping over. And we come up, swing the leg over, foot goes on the foot peg. Left foot goes onto the ground, full lock, outside knee into the tank, lift that bike up, pull the side stand up. Being proficient at getting on and off the bike from the left side and the right side is important. Again, you never know where you're going to come to a stop. I've come to a stop on a slight hill here. There's really no good place to put that side stand down. If I go to put it down, the angle is so steep, plus it's soft sand, the bike is just going to tip over. So my best method to get off this bike is from the right side. Again, I've got my foot secure on the ground, and I just want to pull my leg through. So to remount from this position, the bike is up high on this surface, so I don't need to step on the foot peg. I can just have a good secure footing here and step through. Oftentimes when I dismount the bike, I'll use the foot pegs instead of just putting my foot on the ground to get off the bike. So what I'll do is extend this side stand down. Again, turn the handlebars to full lock. Make sure that the side stand is secure. Put both feet on the foot pegs and stand straight up. Now I bend at the waist so that I can lift my hip easier and get on the ground. To dismount from the right side, We want to extend that side stand down, lean the bike over, ensure that as the weight gets on that side stand, it's nice and secure. It's not going to sink in and begin to tip over. Full lock to the left so that as you stand up, you have better leverage to get up. Both feet are on the foot pegs, stand up, bend forward at the waist so it's easier to lift that rear leg up and over. Now you may not have sand dunes where you ride, but I'm sure there's plenty of hills and the same scenario can happen where you've come to a stop, the bike is leaning on its side. In a situation like this, I just simply like to step over, get my foot on that foot peg, and again, I want to use my knee to push that bike as I lift the handlebars up. So I come up, secure the bike. Most riders get on and off their bike from the left side, simply stepping the foot close to the bike and swinging the leg over. And that's great if you're tall and are flexible. Some tips that I can show you that make it a little bit easier for me. Again, we want to turn that handlebar full lock so we've got all the space. We want to have our left foot as close to the bike as we can. Pull in that front brake. And from here, I want to bend at the waist and get my chest over the center line so that as I bend forward, I can lift that leg up and then it comes over to the foot peg. Whenever I mount the bike, I like to have one foot on the ground at all times. That way I'm more secure. A great habit to get into is learning how to quickly move yourself from side to be able to support yourself. Especially when you're riding in off-road conditions, you may come to an off-camber situation, you may come to a stop and there's a washout and you need to put one foot down on the other, because if you go to put both feet down, you might not be able to have a secure footing. But you can usually always get at least one foot down. Again, to stabilize the bike, I don't rely on using the upper body strength, I use my leg. So anytime I'm in a situation and the bike starts to lean towards me, I don't want to muscle it back up with just straining my arms and my upper back. So I'll use my legs, turn on the ball of the foot, and push the bike back up. An important piece of equipment to get for your bike is a side stand extender so that it supports the bike when you're parking it in sandy or gravelly conditions. Having the footprint being a little bit bigger gives it more surface area to rest on to keep the bike from tipping over. Even in soft surface like this, it adds a lot of stability for when you go to get on the bike. Some mounts and dismounts you need to improvise depending on the situation you're in. You may not be in a position where you can fully lock the handlebars to have the best leverage to get on. So you might need to speed up that process of quickly getting on and off the bike. And having drilled those before you get into that situation is going to pay off down the road.